Hey, Lorelia here. Stays put. Coming to you with a video. As you see, the title says, printing money and you being the bank. What do I mean by that? So the last time I did a YouTube live, it was about a week ago. It was Saturday. And I talked about I talked about Bruce Lipton, Dr. Bruce Lipton. I talked about how he said that individuals by the age of 7 will be are programmed to either be rich or poor. And during that broadcast, I talked about money manifestation, your ability to attract money, your ability to repel money. And once I finished that live, I actually went longer than I wanted. During the live, I was getting text messages. And of course, it's hard for me to check a text message and film a live from my phone. Well, lo and behold, once I got off the live, an investor that I do some business with told me to come to his office and that he had my check. Now, before I disclose the information that I'm going to share with you, I'm not really big on showing money or showing, anything, showing money, showing checks, showing bank balances, because it's all relative. It's relative based on the person's knowledge and expertise. But the reason why I am doing it, because I do believe that we are in a space here on the internet that many individuals do not know what is real and what is fake. There is a lot of people that can go on somebody else's channel, talk about a particular, take information from a person's channel, remix it as their own, and position themselves as someone who knows what they're talking about. One thing about me, I don't know, I don't claim to know a lot of things, but the one thing that I do know is how credit works and how to use it for your personal finances. And so I say that to say all throughout this year, I've been talking about how to leverage your personal credit to be able to build assets for yourself, either buy them, create them that can generate income for you. Because I've said in other videos that your ability to be debt free is all relative to the money that is, coming to you on a regular basis. I say all that to say, going back to the title of this video about printing money, I also talked about how the banks don't really have money. They don't have money. And what I mean by that is they can issue you extended credit, whether it's a credit line, a credit card, or what have you. They don't need to have that money sitting in the bank in order to lend you that money. But rest assured that at the point that you decide that you want to accept that credit line they're giving you, that credit card they're giving you, that loan that they're getting you, you need to have money in the bank in order to pay them. So it's a catch-22. And I also explained in a video that you have the ability to do the same thing. You have the ability to create money that you may not have. And that is what this video is about. So what I'm going to do, like I said, now the reason why I still have the check is because I deposit things from my phone. So I don't physically have to go to a bank. I have not been to a bank in so long. I was at a bank yesterday with my son because he did some work. He has a little business and he had to do a deposit. So without sharing information, to show it, I hope How these people do this on YouTube? Okay. $10,000 made out to me. $10,000. So I hope you can see that. What this is, like I said, is a check. $10,000 check written out to me and my business. And it was for a real estate transaction. I did not have to use any of my own credit. I did not have to use any money. All I had to do was use this. And what do I mean by that? It goes back to information and knowledge. A lot of people have, said that, you know what, all that information doesn't really mean much. Knowing information, having information doesn't really mean much because there's so much out there. And I come from the school of thought that I think information means a lot as long as you are doing something with it. And the reason why I was able to, the reason why, like I said, I call this video Printing Your Own Money is because $10,000 payday that I did not have to work for. And let me say, okay, when I say work, I don't mean I had to spend X amount of hours to be able to create that check. All I had to do was go into my knowledge bank. Let me explain how I did it. So I'm going to kind of pivot off to the title and kind of touch on real estate. This particular transaction is a business transaction in the area of real estate, which is another business of mine. Which is why I said I can't do videos on a regular on this channel, but I at least try to do a minimum of 1 or 2, because whatever I'm talking about, you best to believe I am doing. I'm not going to be someone who is on this channel remixing other people's information. Know that I've never did it, or what have you. And so my journey in real estate started 10 years ago, or probably longer than that. I think about 05, 06. Right around the time that things were actually changing in the real estate market. But I was able to get some success, even though I know I've listened to other people and they've said that's when their business kind of took a hit. But I was able to get some success. And that success was in the area of real estate wholesaling. And so that was a skill set that, one, I invested in myself to get the access. If you remember the internet around 05 and 04, if YouTube was around, I wasn't aware of it. It may have been. I just wasn't aware of it. And if it was there, it didn't have the bountiful amount of information that it has now. So I literally had to, buy courses, go to workshops in order to get this skill set. And that is why, I really am a big advocate of investing in yourself. Because, see, the one thing that people can never take from you is they never can take the information that you've learned. That's why, in the area of credit, I always tell people that you are at a much better place if you learn how this information, how credit works and how you can apply it to your life to rebuild your credit. Because in the event that you face a financial setback and your credit is messed up, you will be able to rebuild it again, as opposed to hiring somebody to help you. Well, anyway, lo and behold, going to real estate, that is what I did with myself with real estate. Now, of course, a few years after that time, things got slow. They got slow in real estate, and so I stepped away from it. But I still had the skill set. And so, as I started to decide that I wanted to go into this area of teaching people how to leverage their credit to either buy assets or create assets, like I said, I want to be someone who's doing it. I don't want to be someone who is just talking a lot of theory. And that is why I showed that check. because I feel like right now we're in a space now where we have a lot of theorists. A lot of people are shooting theory. You know, like I said, there's a lot of people who are going around. They're getting other people's information and they're remixing it as their own to position themselves at a place of, authority. And here to say that is right or wrong. Hey, I am not the internet police of information. But what I am saying is that when it comes to personal finances, it is a very sensitive place for a lot of people, because a lot of people have not educated themselves in the area to be able to create a $10,000 check for themselves or more. That particular check was based on, and how I was able to do it. I know I'm going everywhere, so please bear in mind with me because I want to make sure I stay on topic. Another investor that I know was unable to get a buyer for that real estate transaction, is in the area of real estate wholesaling. Him and I was talking, and he said, hey, if you'd be able to find me a buyer, then, we can split the profits. If I don't know anything, the one thing that I do know how to market, because the skill of marketing can be used along any area. And so that is what I have. I have that understanding, is the skill of marketing. And so that is how I have been able to create that check. Now I'm seeing that, more people are coming on. So let me just share with you what I'm talking about. I'm sharing with individuals a continuation of last week, where I talked about money manifestation and whether your children or whether yourself have been programmed to be poor or wealthy. Dr. Bruce Lipton talked about that in Epigenetics. And while I was on the phone with you, I was able to create a payday for myself. I'm going to show it one more time. Hope you can see it. $10,000 from a business transaction. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, April? How you doing, Akita? And so, like I said, I know it's very vain to show checks and money, but a lot of people don't know what's real and what's fake. And that even goes for me. If you're new to my channel or you're new to me, you don't know if I know what I know. So, and I could just be one of these people just like everybody else who's a theorist, and so, especially when it comes to the topic of money, when you, decide to put a topic of printing your own money as a topic to talk about, you best to believe, and like, it's all relative, because 10,000, this is what I know. As you move further up the food chain and money and wealth, what's relative to some is relative to, to another person. And so $10,000 is nothing, to some people. I totally get it. It's nothing, but the point that I'm making with that being said is that the ability to create that money, and it didn't take a lot of effort. I didn't get a $10,000 payday because I was working a lot of hours or I had to do a big project and it took all this much time. All I had to do was go into my knowledge base of information that I know, because this particular property was in an area of New Jersey that I don't even know. That I don't even do. So I didn't even have buyers that I can actually go to buy this. I did, go to them, but they weren't interested. But since I have the skill of understanding of marketing, I was able to go right on the internet, use a resource, and there I was able to make a few calls. And the one call I made was to this particular gentleman who bought the property. So that is the reason why I'm, one, showing the check, and two, talking about it, because I mentioned earlier in this broadcast that how banks do not have to have money in the bank in order to issue you credit, a loan, a line of credit, a credit card. But you, my friend, you have to have money to pay them. And how can you, as an individual, position your own self to be the bank? See, a lot of people don't even look at life that way. How can you do it? That doesn't take, a whole lot of effort. Don't get me wrong. There's things in life that do, but there's a lot of things that don't take a lot of, and when I say effort in terms of hard manual labor work, because like I said, everything is relative. $10,000 is a gnat compared to some people. And like I said, as you move up the food chain in money and wealth, people who are very wealthy and who have money, they're not showing checks. I get it. They're not showing checks. They're not showing bank balances. They're not showing money. That's why I really don't like doing those things, because I know that the people who really do have money, where $10,000 is really their living expenses, which is, minimum, they're not showing checks. But the reason why I did is because I understand that I'm in a space of talking about a particular topic, and there's a certain thing of, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Nevia world. I'm in a particular space where people, they need to know who's just talking and who's not. So if you have just came on this channel, I'm already at 16 minutes. The topic that I named this channel, this topic is printing money and being your own bank. And I talked about how last week I did a live. While I was on that live, I was getting several text messages. Just so I didn't interrupt the live, once I got off of the live, I got a message about picking up a particular check. Now, as you can see, the check said October the 6th is a week later. If you're wondering why I'm still holding on to the check, because I do online deposit. I mean, I do the phone deposit where you could take an image of your check and deposit it right from your phone. So I don't physically go to the bank, because there's not, in what I do in business, I don't really, get a lot of cash money where I have to physically go to a bank. Most of the stuff that I do is either online wires, online deposits, or online or checks. And all that can be done without going to the bank. And then I shared with everyone the check. So if you want, look at the beginning of the broadcast to get an idea of what I was talking about. So that's my point today, is how do you become the bank? It's by gaining knowledge. What is it that you can learn that will allow you to earn an income without you using your own credit or using money? Now, I believe real estate gives you that opportunity. So I will be talking a lot about that on this channel. I think this is a great tie-in into that. And I actually want to do another live after this, because I want to talk about business credit and what have you. And I don't want it all to be mishmashed into this topic, because it just takes away from, what you can really say. So I want to kind of leave this where it's at. Come back on later today, talk about business credit, talk about real estate, and really begin to talk about. That's why I say, once you start getting into the conversations of talking money, I believe you should show it. I don't want nobody giving me no advice who's a theorist. I can even say for myself, there are people out there who are positioning themselves as experts on credit. Thank you so much, Matthew. And like I said, I am not the information police on the internet, but this is what I know. They are positioning themselves as experts on credit, and yet and still they have called me for consultations, which they have had to get answers on a particular topic. I'm going to let that sit right there. And like I said, when you start guiding people in regards to their credit, their money, you want to make sure that people have those same results that you want. Because like my minister says, the blind lead the blind, both shall fall in the ditch. They will. And that is my message for you today. What are you going to do to be your own bank? What are you going to do to create income and wealth for yourself? So if you are somebody who still has issues with your credit, you can go to creditboost.yourmoneymentor.com. And if you are interested, and I'm rolling out the program again to the general public based on the need and the response of people that I'm getting. If you are interested in the credit to cash flow program that I've created, I have a link under this video. After the process, you can go to, I believe, cash flow at yourmoneymentor.com, where I am going to be having weekly sessions talking about strategies on how you too can be able to leverage your credit if it's in the area of wanting to create business credit for yourself, or using business credit to obtain real estate, or being able to get into real estate without using your own credit or your own money, which is what I did with the check that I had showed you. So like I said, there is an investment in that class. I think it starts at $100. I don't know, but it ain't free. And the reason why I say that, I just want to be upfront and honest. One thing I know about myself is that I can really help someone when it comes to leveraging their credit. Not going to do that for free. I will still share content here on YouTube, talking about particular things. But if you want something to be really tailored to your situation, you really want to talk about your situation, that is going to cost. Well, like I said, I have plenty of free stuff here for you to take advantage of. But we all know that sometimes we need our own we need our own personal assistance. I could tell you for myself. I told you a few weeks ago, I went to, at the end of September, I went to a real estate note conference. That was, I talked about that conference was the banks and the lenders and the note holders who hold the paper on assets. And once again, being the bank. How do you become the bank? That is an example of becoming a bank. Those are the topics that I'm going to talk more about, sharing my journey on, because that is what I'm interested in doing in real estate. Most of the time when you do wholesaling, people just assume you're going to be a rehabber after that. I have no interest in rehabbing homes, but I am interested in being the bank. I am interested in holding the notes and the paper on first position lien mortgage notes, or second position mortgage notes. There is money in both, and that is what the conference talked about. And so those are some of the things that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to share my journey on that. And so as I share my journey on it, information that I learned, even for myself, there are particular teachers that I'm looking to learn from. I have to make the investment. And I could tell you now, ain't none of them getting on no phones or emailing nobody back and forth giving them advice. So that's why I know that what I'm doing is not strange. That's why when people look and seem surprised that people put a price tag on what it is they know, whether it's me or anybody else, don't look surprised, because like I said, as you move higher up the food chain and money and wealth and wanting information and learning from people, they've put a price tag on it. And I can tell you right now, there's a gentleman here locally right here in New Jersey who does that. He has a hefty price tag if you want to learn from him. Now, could you learn it from a book? Sure, he has a great book. I went through it in a few days. It was very good. But I need a little more. Like, I need some hand holding. I got some questions that need to be asked. And he ain't doing it for free. So I say this to say, I'm not here to convince you of what I think. There is tons of information here on my channel. I have over 300 videos here on YouTube, as well as other people that are in the space of credit, personal finance, and business. And so you can learn from them as well. But that's all I have for today. Like I said, I'm going to try to come back later today because I want to talk about that topic of business credit. So once again, hope this video has been of value to you. Please like and share it. Look forward to talking to you in the next one.